This podcast is brought to you by Coke, Am First, Buffalo Wild Wings, Southern Immediate Care, Ann's Quilts, Guaranteed Labels, Central State Bank, and Sunrise Docks. Now, back to Bubba on the Lake.
Hey, it's Bubba, hey, Bubba, Bubba on the lake. This is Bubba, hey, Bubba, Bubba on the lake. Yeah, he's got it going on, gotta come and check this. Talking people, talking places from Bubba's perspective. This is Bubba, hey, Bubba on the lake. Hey, Bubba, yeah, Bubba on the lake. Let's go.
Hi there, Bubba. Boy, I'll tell you right now, you're sounding good over here in Hill Country. My goodness. We're enjoying Bubba on the Lake, and of course, we're back porch Betty, her chiming in. That's a lot of fun. Look for her to have her own podcast sometime. What do you think, Fred? Do you like the show? Yeah, I like it too. Well, how about you, Arnold? There you have it. We love Bubba on the Lake.
Well, I almost didn't let that one go through, but the Mr. Haney was so good I had to let it ride. That's just being honest.
Hey, Bubba, man, we've missed you. We love the new show. Just want to shout out some encouraging words. Keep you and your family uplifted. And, man, just keep on keeping on. Keep adding to the show. We love it. Go get them, Bubba.
Hey, Bubba. It's James from Abilene, Texas calling. Just a little pointer, I think. Your gain on your podcast could come up a little more because whenever I switch it from yours to someone else's, I have to turn yours up real loud on my gain, on my telephone I'm listening on, so might bump the gain a little bit. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
James, you are absolutely correct, and we have been looking into that problem. I'm trying to run everything a little bit hotter, but I didn't want it to splatter. So see how this week sounds and let me know.
Hello, Bubba. Nice to meet you. This is David from Flowery Branch, Georgia, and I've been a pharmacist for 44 years. And I like it when my customers come back in and say, David, I like that Prevagen. It makes me feel real good. Thank you.
Hey, Bubba, I love the show. Here from Athens, Alabama. Please try to find a different theme song. The R&B hip-hop thing doesn't fit you. How about a country version or some pop from the 80s or something? But anyway, sorry to be like that, but I'm enjoying the show. Thanks.
Oh, come on. I love that. You know, I can't help it that I like to get funky with a funky beat. You got to be kidding. I've got a lot of people who love that song, but let me know. Maybe we need to change it, but I sure like it.
Hey, Bubba. I'm glad to have found your podcast. I'm just below you here in the big city of Eclectic. Miss hearing you on the radio. Speaking of, I know you're a ham guy. Well, we're not hams here, but we do have a local CB club in the Lake Martin area. We get on typically every night on Channel 32. That's the 27.325 frequency for you fancy ham operators. Anyway, be glad to have you join us. Thanks. Glad to hear from you.
Well, it may surprise you to know that I already listen to a lot of you guys on Channel 32 on the CB radio. A lot of us ham guys still have CB radios. I just don't have a good outside antenna, so it's hard for me to jump in, but I listen often. Sounds like you guys have a lot of fun.
Hey, Bubba. Casey calling from the big city of Ozark, Alabama. Just wanted to call and congratulate you on your new podcast. Give you a couple of ideas maybe to think about. I know you're big into ham radio, something you're passionate about. I think you could do a whole show about you and some of your ham radio buddies. And I kind of second the idea of maybe checking in on Helmsy. I know y'all probably talk to him more than we do. But it'd be nice to know since we hadn't heard from him in a couple of months just to see how he's doing with his team and just see how he's going. Last thing, if I got time, is try a food segment where you try ketchup since you love it so much. Try a food segment where you try ketchup on some of your favorite things and some new stuff. And I'll give you one idea: ketchup on a saltine cracker. You won't regret it. I love it. Have a good day. Have a good week. Talk to you soon, my friends.
Well, it may surprise you to know that I have already eaten saltines with ketchup. That was quite a delicacy when I was a child. And anytime you go to a restaurant and you're hungry, they usually give you crackers before anything else. So, of course, I use that and the ketchup to make an early treat. And I have been caught doing that even recently, much to Betty's dismay. For Coach Helms, I see Helmsy every now and then. We've talked several times. He's very busy right now with the boys and the girls team, or men's and women, I should say, at Jack State University. And they have just been playing in their big conference tournament. And the teams were doing very well, and I will try to get an update. I have made a request to him a couple of times, but he's just running, so hopefully his schedule will get a little bit better in the near future, and we can have him on indeed. And with those little pearls of entertainment from 308 Big Lake, our message line, 308 Big Lake, welcome to our podcast. I'm your semi-retired, mostly washed-up host, formerly of the Rick and Bubba Show, Bill Bubba Bussey, and I want to welcome you to Bubba on the Lake. We're having a lot of fun with the message line. Keep those calls coming. We enjoy getting to screen those right here in the Mellow Yellow studio each week. Folks, thank you for being a part of this, tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications. We don't want you to miss a single thing from the show. Also, follow us on social media, like all that stuff. You can find us on almost all of them at Bubba on the Lake. Can you believe it is show number 10 already? 10. We're going into double figures, and I really, again, want to thank all of you for the wonderful feedback we've had on the program so far, because without you, it does not happen. So thank you for following, listening, spending time with the podcast, also supporting our sponsors. We really, really appreciate it.
It's Bubba on the Lake. Bubba on the Lake.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
When you need urgent care, Southern Immediate Care is here for you. Illness doesn't follow a 9-to-5 schedule, so we offer support 7 days a week at convenient locations throughout Birmingham and Northeast Alabama, dedicated to serving all ages from children to adults. Southern Immediate Care offers occupational medicine services, including DOT physicals and testing. At Southern Immediate Care, your health is our top priority. Visit southernimmediatecare.com or call 205-409-2794.
Well, I'm here with the lovely Betty Lou, and we've had quite a day today. You know, sometimes you just have things that don't go your way, and we're kind of in the middle of all that. I can explain it. I have a large Ram diesel 3500 dually truck, and many of you remember I put the wrong fuel in it. That was a $4,500 mistake. Well, she's at it again. And she left me on the road after acting up a little bit. Didn't appear to be going into park. We have some sensor issues. Wouldn't let me crank it. Got it cranked, thought we were good, was trying to unload everything to carry it to the shop, and it left me on the side of the road. Well, we carried it to one shop here in town, and they did what they could do and said, oh, you've got to go to the dealership. So we've been to the dealership, trying to get in. Always a line. Always a lot of people with stuff that needs working, so we did that. Then we proceeded to try to rent a car so I could continue working. And we've run into a few problems with that. We've been to 2 places. They didn't have any cars. So we're pretty excited about that since we had to drive almost 30 minutes one way to one of the places. And Betty, you were telling me after this most fulfilling day that we've had that you've learned a few things today. What was it?
Well, it's actually been...
I don't give up the microphone. I have to hold it.
Well, excuse me. The dogs think this fuzzy microphone is a toy, by the way. So
and
I'm having
you're going to have to
off of it the whole time.
You're going to have to speak up too, so we can hear you.
Okay.
That's good.
The dogs think this little microphone here is a toy because it's got a fuzzy-looking troll doll-looking hair on the end of it. So
you mean the windscreen looks like a squirrel's butt?
Yeah, that too. So anyway, and you're poking the squirrel's butt right up here in my mouth. But anyway, I will speak. That's been a day, y'all. But anyway, all right, I told Bill while I was driving him back, we started out around 6 a.m. this morning, or we left around 7. Yeah, 7. So anyway, we came back home after one escapade.
You had to have an oil change, and that was the first stop.
Yeah,
because it was way overdue.
That might be, yeah, of course, a few miles overdue. Oh my goodness,
700 miles overdue.
Well, anyway, it's good now. All systems are a go. It's all good. The 3 lessons I would say that I have learned throughout this truck debacle, I'll call it. Let's just call it the truck debacle. All right, number 1, if your Ram truck is saying you're about to have a collision or this and that, all kind of sensors going off, let's don't pick the curviest road we can pick that has nowhere to pull off to take it and me follow you to town. And this was Friday. This all started Friday. So this is now Monday. Let's don't pick that road to take to get to the dealership or to the place where you're trying to take it. That's probably the first lesson because it went dead.
I can give you another lesson. Don't have your vehicle die on you on Good Friday because people are not going to be around to work on it.
That's another lesson in all this as well. But anyway, the poor little wrecker guy, he got there and he got your truck and took it somewhere. Well, lo and behold, they couldn't do everything they needed to do. They wanted us to take it to the actual dealership. So that's where we headed today. But anyway, the second lesson, I guess, in all this, and I'm trying to think where I was going with this. I've got to rambling here. And I'm so tired. I'm trying to think. Oh, I know. Okay, so when we decided we needed to rent a car, so we live in Alexander City. There's not that many places. If y'all will Google Alexander City and rental cars, I'll challenge you to see what comes up. So anyway.
Now, what was the name of the first place we went?
Well, now, I don't want to say the name. They might be a sponsor sometime. But anyway.
No, I'm just asking you what the name is because there was only one place in town that I found.
I believe that would be U, as in not Y-O-U, U, the letter U dash save. And apparently that's it. It's just you save.
And
you save what? Do you save on a car? Do you save on groceries? We don't know. It's a mystery.
Well, we didn't save on anything because they had no cars.
We didn't save on gas. I can tell you that because we rode on up there because one, Bill Bubba Bussy doesn't believe in calling before we go to these places to see if they have cars. So then we take off to Sylacauga, Alabama, which is 45 minutes from where we were. And
it's a good 30.
It's about 45. But anyway, I mentioned, should we call and just ask before? Well, they're not going to reserve us one either way. I said, okay, here we go.
That may have been my bad.
Here we go. So we get in there, and there's 2 little guys working in there. Not their fault. Just saying not their fault. Well, we'll have one in an hour maybe. So anyway, that didn't really work for us. So
because we're going to be an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
and not able to get back before they close. And I do have to go to work tomorrow. I've worked at home today, but I've got to get back to the office.
So long story short, he'll drive my vehicle tomorrow. Now, I don't know. I wish we did have some video. I'll have to take a picture sometime when we get his truck back. His truck looks like an Army vehicle every time he brings it home here. Like, I don't know what he's doing different, but every time he brings that truck home, I'll go out with the dogs the next morning, and another big old dent will be in the back of it. So I've told him if he brings my car home looking like his, there's going to be issues.
Issues? What kind of issues?
I don't know, but we may be trucking it on back up there to a dealership to get me a car. If you're going to drive mine like some, I don't know what you call them, some rotary, it's not rotary vehicle. What do you call them?
What are you even saying?
No, I am so tired.
Okay, I will have to give you this. I am tired, and I feel like I have plowed by hand all day today, and all we've done is ride around and look at cars.
Yeah, but it's 80-something degrees outside. It's been hot.
That's really not all that hot, honey.
It's hotter than it's been being.
Well, yeah, because it was winter.
Yeah.
But it's got so bad. Oh, Ruby's bumping the microphone here. You might hear her. It's got so bad that we actually went and priced cars. I was just going to buy a car and I guess throw the other one away. I was so mad at it. You know, I have to, because I drive, I mean, I have a 2-hour drive one way to work, 4 hours, you know, round trip, and I have to trust my vehicle, rain, snow, sleet, or hail. And see, I thought that truck was going to be ironclad for 300,000 miles. And we're sitting here at 134, and it's over there in the shop with an intermittent problem, by the way, that I know exactly what's going to happen. They're not going to be able to find it. And they're going to hand it back. And that's what happened with the first shop. And I brought it home, and it started doing the same thing again.
Again. There's the dogs.
The barkers are at it again.
There's absolutely nothing coming down the driveway.
Well, there's no car out there to bark at, I'll tell you that, or truck.
There's really not. But anyway, again, I thought, why not? You got it cranked from that first place. My suggestion was take it to the dealership right then. Don't bring it home and chance.
But why did we bring it home? Let's look at this logically. What was I trying to accomplish?
You said you wanted to work, but I had a perfectly good car you were riding with me in.
No, I had it full of tools.
No, that was the first day. That was last Friday. He already unloaded all that, folks. Don't let him fool you. He unloaded all the tools Friday. You unloaded all the tools Friday.
Friday is the day it died. I unloaded them when I brought it home.
On Friday.
And then it died going back to the mechanic.
That was Friday on the little
But
Kirby.
if I had not come home and unloaded the truck, we would have had to put all those tools in your car, and they wouldn't fit.
That made sense. That's not what I'm talking about. That was Friday on the curvy road where it broke down. I'm talking about today. This is Monday.
Okay, you're talking about today. What about today?
We went clear up there to the little dealership that said that we needed to take it to the main dealership or whatever round.
The mechanics that said it needed to go to the dealership.
Yeah, because they could run more diagnostic test on it. So instead of just cranking her up, I think you did take her to the dealership, actually. Now that I'm thinking, I feel like I've lived 3 days in this one so far. And so anyway, we get it to the dealership, and I said, well, just leave it. You know, you've already been left on the side of the road once. Let's don't chance it again. Oh, no, we'll see if it's working.
Well, they couldn't get to it for a few days.
Guess what? It's right up there where we should have left it this morning because it did die again almost on you, and we decided, we better take it back up there. So anyway, that's been our day today. And now your little cricket phone back there, I hear. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, the name of the podcast is Bubba on the Lake. But today, at this exact moment, we're kind of like Bubba down on the lake.
This is called Bubba on the Highway, and sometimes without a car is what it's called today. Yes.
Well, we've invested in that truck, which I thought was going to be like a tank for 200,000 or 300,000 miles. Little did I know it was going to squat in the road at 134.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to, folks, apparently. Oh, well. But, hey, we've driven some cars today just to check them out.
Yeah, we got quotes on 3 different vehicles, all of them different in different ways. But, you know, I'm kind of like I feel like just going to get one and saying the heck with all of it.
Well, I just don't know what the plan is with the big truck. You know what I mean? What are we going to do with it? We're just going to say, y'all do what you want to with it, drive it in the lake, you know? What's the plan here? I don't know.
Yeah, I bet it would be good fish bait.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. I don't know about, does rust bring in the fish? I don't know.
Well, you hope other things, you know, grow on it and all that. Yeah. Well, Bill and Betty, we're kind of down at the moment. We're down. We're not out, but we're down. And we got to regroup and get it together here because it's sunshiny outside and we ought to be in a better mood than we are. So, you know, we have a couple of options there. We can just take a nap, or we can get a refreshing drink, or we can go look at the water or do something. I don't know, but I'm just so aggravated. I know you are. Thank you, Betty, for being there for me.
My vote is we're going to get a pizza here in a little bit with hopefully a well-known pizza place nearby that might become a sponsor one day, and we'll tell you who that is later if they do. So we'll sit down and have
you're learning this game already.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I am. Trust me. It doesn't take much.
Well, you know, they say time and money solves all problems, and unfortunately we're out of both. So we'll take a break right here, and we're going to lick our wounds, and we'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to Bubba. Whoa. Bubba on the Lake.
The perfect checking account does not exist. At least not at a bank. At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. That's what you'll find at AmFirst. Only available for qualifying members. AmFirst is federally insured by the NCUA.
Looking for that beautiful quilt or other fabulous gifts? Check out Ann's Quilt and Country Store in Rogersville. Come see Miss Kim for all your quilting needs. She does custom quilts, memory and t-shirt quilts, and will also quilt your quilt top. There are gifts for women, babies, and even knives for the menfolk. Visit Miss Kim at Ann's Quilts, 1614 Lee Street in historic downtown Rogersville, Alabama. Call 256-483-2276 or search the store on Facebook and Google.
On the line, we have a familiar old friend, Chris Mleski, better known as Christopher Columbus, our old TV guy over at Rick and Bubba. Chris, how are you doing?
Doing really well, Bubba. Always good to talk to you. And, you know, since you mentioned the name, you know, it was not until the day that TV was over that I discovered why you gave me that name. I never, ever knew that. For, was it, I guess, 4 or 5 years?
Oh,
I never knew why you gave me the name.
Now, why did we give you the name? I don't remember.
Because you said I was always on a different adventure. Every time there was always something new going on.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And you were. You were always out there. Yeah. And then after our show, you went on to do a lot of radio yourself.
Yeah, that was something I had never really thought would be something I'd ever want to do. I learned a ton from you and Rick, just kind of always being in the background observing, and had the opportunity for almost 9 years to co-host with Roxanne on WDJC for the morning show. Had a great time, and I can't tell you how much I leaned on just kind of my style being a little bit about what you guys did. It was something that I picked up And I'll tell you, the thing that I learned the most from both you and Rick was no ego. And that was the thing that I think really helped me in my whole world of radio was no ego. Because, in radio, there's a lot of ego.
Yeah, and I don't know that we taught you that lesson really well. As we look back on everything now, maybe we didn't teach that as well as we should have.
No.
But, Chris, it's so good to talk to you. And look, this is what happens when you do a podcast. Somebody calls you on the phone, you say, hey, how about an interview? I mean, you pick right up and, hey, you're on the air, baby.
I ain't got a problem with that. I'm always good to go. Another benefit of the show was, what I always loved about it was there was always a schedule, but that schedule never really kind of came out. It was always I always called it kind of organized chaos.
Well,
you never know what was going to happen. You always had to be ready.
Well, it was a starting point. And,
sure.
You just had to pitch from there, so to speak. So, well, Chris, what are you doing now? Catch everybody up on what's happening with you right now.
Absolutely, and thank you for asking that. After radio, my ninth year in radio, my son, my oldest son, who now actually is in college, he was in 8th grade, he got a pretty serious concussion playing football, and our whole world changed. We had to, my wife was in the middle of getting her PhD, and we didn't want her to stop that, so I had to make a career choice decision and leave morning radio to kind of be home at the morning for my son. So I actually went to work for one of our advertisers in the mortgage industry and kind of shifted into the marketing, production, kind of what I did at a certain level for you guys, but now more in the corporate world. And since then now I'm with a company called Premier Lending, and now I run all the Alabama offices in the state of Alabama. We've got one in Guntersville, one in Tuscaloosa, and then one in Vestavia.
Well, so you loan money, huh?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
you want a mortgage? I'll be happy to help you.
It's good to know you. So do you miss the broadcast part of everything?
Every day. That is just some of the greatest memories of getting paid to laugh and show up and have fun. The lessons that I learned about broadcast and actually sharing with people and being comfortable enough to actually, talk and share was something that I will go to my grave as some of the greatest memories of my life.
Well, we had a lot of fun then. That was a fun period of time because the show was growing at a rapid pace, and we were adding new things, new features, TV. We were doing a lot of things out and about. Turner South had come along, which was part of the Turner Empire in Atlanta, and they offered a lot of things. It got us involved in a lot of things, and I'll tell you, if I have to point to a one single day, I think was the high point of the Rick and Bubba show, is when we went to Atlanta to do promos at Turner down on Techwood, where I had visited before. I mean, that was their nerve center. But when we got to go in and be the talent, and they treated us like we were important, that was really cool.
The green screens and all the effects, all of that. And listen, Turner was, I hate that the whole thing worked out with Braves, taking it over, because that was when it began to really grow and grow and grow, and all the stuff that, like you said, we added, the Fatchler being like the very first thing that was actually produced on the show, and then of course the Ghost Hunts and the Bachelorette and just all those things that Vicky Quest and just all those things that make everything so memorable.
Yeah, it was a really fun time, and that made it worth doing. It really did. It wasn't. You didn't feel tortured. You didn't feel like you were going to work. It was a very exciting time, and I'm glad we have those memories, Chris. We'll always cherish that. I mean, a lot of times we think it's me and Rick or Speedy and the other guys, but there were so many of you folks that were involved and interns and. I mean, it was a pretty big production there for a while.
It was, and I think probably my biggest memory was the day that you and Rick got the maddest at me. That was the Halloween when Jane Seymour showed up, and I didn't want to dress up because Jane Seymour was there. And I dressed up after Jane Seymour was there, but not before, because I wanted to make sure to look my best for her.
Well,
Which my wife didn't appreciate.
Yeah, you don't get every day Jane Seymour, probably one of the most beautiful women that have ever walked the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And but I told Betty, and as sweet as Jane was, being a Bond girl and the star of several TV shows, I said, Betty, with you standing right there next to her, she doesn't have anything on you. You can hold your ground with anybody. That's kind of how I spun it, Chris. It's to stay out of trouble.
The mistake that I made, that was the day Megan was coming up with our two oldest at that time were still babies. So she was outside the security door, and you got to have that little security key to get in. Well, Turner South shot an image of her out there waiting, and then they did a commercial where it showed her outside waiting, and then me inside and Jane Seymour kissing me on the cheek. And that didn't go very well.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That didn't sit well with her.
Well, listen, how is your sister-in-law? Because she worked with us for a while.
Yeah, Erin,
Nana.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yep, Nana, she's in Nashville, has 3 children. Her husband is an Emmy Award-winning audio producer. Very, 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 very talented individual. And I see her all the time. She'll always been my favorite. We're about as close as a brother and sister can be. But she's like almost 40, Bubba.
Yeah, well, we noticed y'all were a very close family.
Well, I know. There were a lot of things that were said that it made my wife mad as well. That's twice.
It was a good time for all of us. Maybe not your wife, because now she's about to be the doctor, and we had all that going on, and now I'm sitting here, in front of a mixing board, doing my own editing, doing a podcast. So we've all come a long way.
Sure, and you love that because you're so techie anyway. I mean, Lord knows you got every computer you need for it. So.
Well, I'll tell you, doing the podcast, I have been able to get my hands dirty again, so to speak.
Sure.
We did podcast with the other show, but I didn't have to edit them up. I didn't have to, publish them. I didn't have to put the keywords and the search phrases, and I didn't have to work accounts with everybody. So, this has been this is kind of back to ground floor for me, because I've had to, work with our advertisers and get it all produced and put it together. And, quite frankly, I could use extra hand around here, Chris. So if you got some spare time, give me a call.
Listen, do you know how much I miss that? I miss that every day. I just miss that element of producing and putting together and having a product to put out there. That's something that I'll always just be very proud of. And listen, you've done this before. You can do it again. But I would love to maybe talk a little bit more about how I can contribute. You know that.
Well, you're contributing right now, because my interview with Gene Hallman keeps getting pushed back. So I appreciate you filling in. And
hey, I had him for 2 straight years on our show to come up, and he delayed on me twice.
Well, he's busy. He's a mover and shaker. Yeah. And look, I'm a little startup podcast, so I know the pecking order. I know where I belong, but. He's been very kind. We just we've had some scheduling conflicts, and if you've listened earlier to this podcast, I've had truck problems again. So we just
imagine that.
Yeah, we just haven't had a good day. It's been crazy around here. Well, Chris, I'm glad y'all are doing good. Tell me, how old are your kids now? What are they doing?
Reeves is 22. He's about to finish Sanford.
You are kidding me.
No, he's finishing college at Sanford with a degree in sports management. Lucy she'll graduate in the spring of next year in journalism. She's kind of following in my. She loves the editing and the creative. She does a lot of stuff with those sports at Sanford. And then Greer, our youngest, will be a senior at Hoover, going to Sanford next year. So we got one more to get through college.
Chris, that just blows me away. You realize that?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it seems like yesterday they were in diapers, and now they're out of college. They're about to be out of college.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and, Hunter and Caitlin were just little toddlers during a lot of that time you're talking about, and they're, 26, 27 now?
Oh, Hunter will send me stuff on Facebook all the time. It's hard to believe that I still think of them as little, but boy, time has flown by.
Chris, What an understatement. What an understatement. Time does not wait on any man, does it?
No. I'll tell my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law are very, very close, and I was telling her, I said, you realize I'm the age you were when me and Megan got married? And I started thinking, oh my gosh, time is just, we're not too far away with our kids getting married and them having kids going, oh my gosh, grandfather, at some point.
Chris, are you close with all the females in your family?
Yes, very close. I was the first male. Everybody in her family is female. So I was like the first male around. So yeah. I know that raises questions, but
we're talking to Chris Mleski, who was better known as Christopher Columbus on the Rick and Bubba show for many, many years, then went on to, did you say 9 years you and Roxanne went over to DJC?
9 years.
That is unbelievable to me.
Yeah, to survive that.
And, we had a conversation one time, and I was going to tell you this. You asked me if I remembered something that I had told Roxanne, and I never could remember it. I did remember it later on. She was right.
I'm sure you did.
She was. She was right. And so, that's a little inside between us, but that bothered me to no end because somebody thought I had said something, and it was all good. It wasn't anything bad.
Sure.
But you asked me about it, and I could not remember it to save my life. And I was like, of course, that's what getting 60 will do,
Oh, my gosh.
All the T's and I's are not crossed like they used to be. You got things missing.
I find that out every day. I can't do the things like I used to. I wish I could go play dodgeball like we did, but I don't know if I could make it up and down the court one time.
Well, I can hardly walk right now. I got a bad ankle. And I get hurt all the time, and I'm not doing anything. That's the sad part. I'm not even playing golf. I get out of bed and something's hurt. I don't like it.
Lucy ended up being our golfer. She actually was Hoover's #1 her senior year, and had some scholarship offers, but decided she wanted to go to Sanford. I had to quit playing because she would just destroy me on the golf course. So I just ended up driving the golf cart for her all the time. So I just said, you're beating the pants off of me.
Well, listen, so I know a couple of other really good golf programs in the area. Might be a little further up the road at Jack State, but hey, holler at me.
I'd love to. I'd love to do it. No joke.
Chris, so good to talk to you. I hope you and Megan will load up and come visit us at the lake one day, and let's get on the pontoon boat, and we will relive even more memories.
I would. You can count that in. I would love to do that, 100%.
Chris Mleski, the former Christopher Columbus. Good to talk to you, sir. Stay in touch.
You too, Bubba. Thanks.
See you, bud.
Where's Bubba?
I'll tell you where. He's on the lake.
Attention business owners, print buyers, and production managers. Guaranteed Labels is here to help you focus less on your printing, labels, and decals, and more on growing your business. Guaranteed Labels, your dependable printer for all types of industries. Quality, on-time shipments, and stock programs set us apart. If you're needing to focus less on your printing and more on your business, trust Guaranteed Labels. 800-741-7055 or GuaranteedLabels.com. Guaranteed Labels, still sticking since 1988.
You know one thing I love about Buffalo Wild Wings? You can get wings with any of their 26 sauces and dry rubs for takeout and delivery. That's like bringing an entire B-dubs home with you, which you can't do. I tried. I've knocked down so many walls, only to then be told to halt construction because I'm not zoned to be a sports bar. Kinda just looks like a big pergola or something because of the lack of walls. At least these 26 sauces and dry rubs are available to go. Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's go sports bar.
Well, we're back here in the Mellow Yellow studio, and we've had a lot of people requesting an update from Coach Michael Helms. Coach Helms, how are you, sir?
Hey, Bubsy. I think we're getting carried away there. Nobody wants to hear from me.
No, I really, seriously, I would say it is probably the tied for number 2 request that I get.
Well, that's awful kind. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. This is Bubba on the Lake. I love it. I've been listening a little bit as I grind through this schedule that I've got myself into, but I'm looking forward to taking some time here over the next couple months and really digging into what you're doing over there.
Well, it's a lot different, and I have explained to everybody being the number 2 guy is a lot different from being the number 1 guy. And, your pacing and how you handle everything is a little bit different, not what I'm used to. But we're working on it. We'll work through it, and we're having fun doing it.
Well, I heard you mention that on the first episode, and I thought it was great that you got ahead of that and admitted that. But at the same time, I think you're doing a really good job. Like I do. I love Bubba host. I love Bubba working everything. This is fun.
It's challenging, and we're still learning. We're working out all the things, but we did podcasts for a long time. We did 2 years, more than that, 223 episodes, I think. But I didn't have to do all the details. I didn't have to do the editing. I didn't have to do the posting, and all of that. I'm kind of getting my hands dirty again, so I'm enjoying that part of it.
Well, I'm it's been an interesting year and a half for both of us, and it's great seeing you on campus at Jacksonville State. I think you and I will probably see more of each other now that the season's over. I hear you've got frequent flyer miles over at the cafeteria, so we'll definitely connect more on a one-on-one level for sure coming up. So.
Well, listen, I'd heard you talk about the cafeteria, and I really, I'm like, yeah. But look, I'm sold now. I mean, I buy lunches in blocks of 100 now.
Well, before we get finished with this. And I don't get to say it. I do want to tell you something. I appreciate your friendship, Bubba. The past year and a half, and we don't need to air dirty laundry, but you have meant a ton to me over the last year. Just you're so gracious and kind and supportive, even when things are tough and may have made them tough on myself. And you have been. I always walk away from you going, my gosh, that guy means everything he says. Like, you're just so genuine, and I do truly appreciate your friendship, really and truly, through the past year especially. So thank you for that. You've meant the world to me.
Okay, is it donation time for tennis again? Is that what it is?
It's not. That's
no, you're too kind to say that.
I'll hit you up for that in August. Don't worry.
Okay, well, good. We'll look forward to that. But no, everybody asked me this. Do you see Helms all the time? Do y'all hang out? And our offices are technically on the same floor of the Coliseum, but you're over in a part that's isolated, so we can't just walk around the floor to your office. And I'm over there in the mix with everybody else. And you've kind of got a nice little isolated area over there that you've made, but you can only get to it with steps, and right now steps and me are not jiving.
It's funny when I tell people that you will not come see me because I don't have an elevator or escalator. They laugh so hard at that, and they think I'm kidding. They're like, "Oh, that's a good one, Helms." I'm like, "No, that's exactly what Bubba said. He told me he's not coming over here until I resolve that."
Well, I've got this nagging ankle injury that I've had for about 4 months, and I look like I'm 100 years old trying to go up steps, and it's just embarrassing. And I'm the only one that uses that old elevator in the Coliseum. I mean, everybody else is scared of it, and I'm like, "Hey, it's the only option."
Well, it's I did. I've got me a nice little setup up there. Our tennis team room is up there, and there was an old maintenance closet, really, like a mechanical maintenance closet. And Greg Seitz, the athletic director, I asked him one day, we were lacking office space. We were trying to find offices for all the coaches, and he's like, "We'll find you something." I'm like, "What's in there?" And he's like, "Helms, that's a mechanical closet. We can't put you in there." And I said, "Just open it up." And he did, and I've made it into a really unique space. A lot of people think that it's always been like that, and it hasn't. And so they're a little envious now, but they don't realize what it took to get it looking the way it does now. So
yeah, Coach Harper, the basketball coach, calls it the Helms bed and breakfast.
That's so funny. Yes, that is. I'll just leave it at that. That's a good one.
So
that's a good one.
Just for everybody that doesn't know, tell them what you're doing now at Jacksonville State University.
Okay. So I just wrapped up my first year as head coach of the men's tennis team and just wrapped up my second year as head coach of the women's tennis team. And so had the Lady Gamecocks the first year. This is typical us doing. I'm in the middle of interview, and I've got somebody that's working on our air conditioner knocking on my door. Hey, I'm so sorry, Bubba. This is just it.
Just tell them to come on in. We're good. It's just a podcast. It's okay.
No, I'm doing it. Hey, I'm gonna walk out here because I'm on the phone. Okay. This is just typical. But no, I did. This is my second year with the women and first year with the men. And honestly, Bubba, I took the men over, and I'm not even sure. I guess it was about end of June, July. And so that's when I made the decision to step away from the other show and do this full time. And oh my goodness, August and September, I was really going, what have you done? This is too much. Like, you can't handle this. And I didn't have any help, didn't have any assistance at the time. And so we just kept grinding through it and got through the fall, got through Christmas. And then when we got to January, I had an opportunity to hire a full-time assistant. I already had one graduate assistant. I got another one for the men's team, and it has been such a good year on that front. Having them, it's been godsend. They've been great, not only to the teams, but just to me, and kind of I feel like we have a really good team in place now. And so I'm on the other side of all that, and so I started having fun again probably in February. It took a while, but started having fun again in February, and girls had an okay year. We won some matches that we probably shouldn't have, but we also lost some that we shouldn't have. And so the guys had a really good year, and I'm really looking forward to next year already. But I'm going to do something that I hadn't done in a very long time, and that's take a break. Like, I'm actually going to check out and just spend some time with my kids and hang out for a month or so. I got some recruiting and in-season stuff that I need to do, but I'm going to use the summer just to kind of regroup and get ready for the fall. Start it all over again.
Well, you mentioned the men's team. You guys ended the season on like a 6-match run, right?
We did. We won, I think we had won 6 or 7 in a row, and the guys did not lose at home this year, which is special. They went 7-0 at home and made our way to the semifinals in the Conference USA, ultimately losing a tough one to Liberty. It's one of those you lose sleep over because, honestly, on paper, at the moment, the way the programs are separated with financials, you're not supposed to win that one, and we had them. Like, we really did. I thought to myself going in that if we ever had a chance to beat them, this was going to be the year, and we were so close. We took the doubles point. We were up on several courts, and it just didn't go our way, but really proud of the guys. I've never been a part of a team where you have 10 guys and it's like you have 10 best friends on the team. Like, usually somebody don't like each other, and this group is special. They truly love each other, want the best for each other, and they're a lot of fun for sure.
Well, it shows, and I got to see a couple of matches this year, part of them. And it looks like that you're headed in the right direction, and I know you're very excited about that. I mean, it is kind of strange when you change careers. And how long were you on the Rick and Bubba show? 15?
15 years.
15?
15 years.
So, we both are headed in new directions and having a lot of fun doing it. And it's, there was some negative with the way that everything ended, but... we we had to kind of lean on each other a little bit through some of that, but you probably got tired of hearing me. But yeah, it's great. I think with the corner being turned now and new horizons, I think you're enjoying that, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So, all's well that ends well, as they say.
Yeah, and I can see that through you too. Like when I see you on campus, and you seem to be really enjoying what you're doing, and I love that. And let me tell you something: the Gamecock family here loves having you on board. And that's what I get. It's one of those things where I get that question too. Hey, where's Bubba? I'm like, I don't know where Bubba is. Like it's funny. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I could be at Sam Houston State or New Mexico State, and I get, hey, where's Bubba? And I'm like, we probably on the lake.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together, and it is funny now because we run in such opposite directions. But you mentioned those locations. Tell everybody like where you traveled to this year with the team, because Conference USA is scattered out across the country.
We are geographically spread out. It's really it's absurd, and we don't even play a typical conference regular season schedule because of that. Because it's hard, especially on the women's side, because we've got 10 teams, and you got Florida International, you've got New Mexico State, UTEP, Sam Houston. It's easy to go to Middle Tennessee 3 hours down the road, or Kennesaw 2 hours down the road, but La Tech is 5-6 hours away. So we are geographically spread out. But I'll tell you, we took a really cool trip this year with the guys. I inherited this, and I probably wouldn't have scheduled this on my own. Just for budget reasons and some things that I have learned since I've been there. But I'm glad we went, and that was we took a trip with the guys to the Air Force Academy. And they played Air Force, Denver, and Utah State. 3 teams that we would have never probably played ever. And, what you forget about is there's altitude differences. The ball flies everywhere. You always hear about that with baseballs flying out of.
It's real. It's real.
Yeah. And so it's the same with tennis. And so there's a lot of things that go in preparation. The altitude affects guys' health. And so, because of those factors alone, probably not the best scheduling decision that was made. But I'm glad we went because it was a unique part of the world. I had never been to the Air Force Academy. What a great place.
Isn't it beautiful?
It really is. And the first day we got there, I think it snowed like 6 inches. And, of course, we don't handle that well here, but it's like a normal day. And so just to have the snow and, we played indoors, obviously, and that's a whole different thing that you have to think about in tennis. Indoor surfaces are much different than outdoor surfaces. And you add altitude, and from a health standpoint and a ball standpoint, it's different. You go into it with limitations already, but guys handled it well, and it was a fun trip for sure.
Yeah, we went. It was just the scenery was so pretty because you had the Air Force Academy and all the buildings there, and then you had the mountains with the snow on it behind it, and that the whole defense of the free world is there with NORAD down the road, and it's really a cool place, isn't it?
Well, and it's such a small world too. I'm there and I run into one of your former players.
Yeah, Luke Wolf. Yeah,
and run into him. He's a senior now, and just caught up with him. I think I actually did take a selfie with him and send it to you, but he's doing well, and it was good to see him while we were out there as well.
Well, I wanted to make that trip, and we got caught up in some other things that we had to take care of, so I hate I didn't get to go, but Coach Helms, it's good to talk to you, and people are always asking me if I'm helping the tennis team. And I kind of laugh at that, and I tell them they won't let me near these athletes. It's just good.
That's not true. That is not true. Listen, we can always use another assistant. And I listen. I've seen you come out. I know you can't stay all the time. I've seen you come out to our matches, and I appreciate your support on that front. That means a ton. And I will say this: you sent me a picture of my dad and you at the baseball game the other night. I just want to apologize for anything he may have said. He's a loose cannon, Bubba.
Listen, me and Mac Daddy, we're on the same page with most everything. He just gets to say it, and I think it.
You know what's funny is he does. He comes to any tennis match he can get to. He's coming. And he gets his little chair and he brings it out there and sits. And he doesn't care, like, and I guess he would do this with anything I'm doing. And I love it. I'm sure some people would look at it and go, can't believe that he does that. But he'll just come up and talk to me in the middle of matches. And he come up to me the other day. We were playing, I think we were playing Tennessee State. And in the middle of the match, he just comes up to me and starts talking to me. He wants to know what's going on, this, that, and the other. And he will text me. He will text me when I get home. Now, Dad does not text back and forth. All Dad is going to do is text you a message, and you can respond to it, but he's not going to see it. But he texts me after a match, and he goes, hey, I just want to let you know, Pablo really turned that match around for y'all on court 3. And I'm like, we don't have a Pablo. Who's he talking about? And so I got to looking, and I thought, court 3, that's Marco.
Oh, okay.
So he's been calling Marco Pablo this whole time.
Well,
and so it was funny.
He told me he refuses to keep the score like you normally do in tennis. He said, I count 1, 2, 3, 4. He said, I don't do this 15, 30, 40 game. I don't do that.
And I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
It is
and
weird.
He does. And
it's weird.
I know. It is. It is weird. It's one of those things that I would change if I could. I think he's actually got something figured out there. That's exactly, especially the way we do it when there's no ads. So you're really first to 4 points. And so he's to win a game, but he does that. He'll sit there with his little notepad. Like, that's how if you would have told me 10 years ago that my dad would be sitting down at college tennis matches taking notes, I would have thought, you're out of your mind. And so he does that now. It's so funny. It's so great to see him out there doing that as we're playing these matches.
You know, I didn't think about this, but I think I'm going to grab him and talk doubles with him and share some things with him so he will point them out to you. How about that?
Perfectly fine. I love it. I love it.
Coach Helms, thank you for making time. Michael, love you, brother. We've been in the trenches together for a long time, and we are again now, just on different ends of the trench. So love it. Thank you for making time to be with us. And please come see us. Come sit on the porch, and we'll do another episode.
Would love that. Love you, Bubsy. Let me know if you ever need anything.
Take care, Coach Helms. That's Coach Michael Helms of the Jacksonville State Gamecocks men and women's tennis team. He's technically the director of tennis. So he is doing very well with that, and we're very, very proud of him. We'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to Bubba on the Lake.
It's Bubba on the Lake. Bubba on the Lake.
At Central State Bank, we believe community banking is more than just transactions. It's about relationships. For over 100 years, we've been helping neighbors grow, businesses thrive, and dreams become reality. Because when you bank local, you invest in your community. Central State Bank, large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. Visit us today or learn more at centralstatebank.com. Member FDIC.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
You're listening to Bubba on the Lake.
Hit me bad.
A production of Intergalactic Pants and Tees.
All rights reserved.
Well, that is going to do it for this edition of the podcast. I want to thank all my guests for being on, and thank you for spending time with us in the Mellow Yellow studio. Remember, our website is bubbaonthelake.com, and our message line is 308-244-5253, or, as I like to say, 308-BIG-LAKE. And we always ask you to subscribe, follow, turn on notifications, and all that stuff that we need so that we can make this podcast bigger and better for you. Folks, thank you again. We appreciate you being a part of it. Until we sail into port again next time, remember, God's greatest blessing is that you're not praying for a miracle today. Take care.
This podcast is brought to you by Coke. Am First. Buffalo Wild Wings, Southern Immediate Care, Ann's Quilts, Guaranteed Labels, Central State Bank, and Sunrise Docks.
What is the Bubba on the Lake podcast? It's about defying peer pressure.
I mean, let's face it, everybody's doing a podcast.
They are.
I mean, if you ain't doing one, you're the oddball out. I mean, it's like not having a tattoo now, you know?
I don't have a tattoo or a podcast.
Can I tell
I'm
you?
just left out in the dark.
And overcoming adversity.
Cool,
I don't know. My mom is pretty funny. She's 93.
Oh, she's funny.
She can cut loose. Yeah. So.
She does stand up for us at family events.
I think that
She's
would
not, and she can't stand up. That's what's even funny. I mean, she can, but it's with a walker.
She does a semi-stand up.
Yeah. You ever seen a comedian with a walker? And I mean, really need it. It's not a prop.
Download episodes now at BubbaOnTheLake.com.